Now, I think that we could all agree here that Joker 2, Folie is by far one of the biggest box office disasters in history, especially under Warner Brothers via CEO David Zaslav, which, by the way, there's a lot of tensions going on right now behind the scenes over at Warner Brothers. Not only are they dealing with this box office failure and this colossal failure that actually had a lot to do with a lot of in-studio changes and everything to do with director Todd Phillips. We'll have a lot more to talk about that, but also they have a Minecraft movie coming out in April of next year that's also set to be yet another failure for David Zaslav. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. Now, Robert De Niro. We know that there's a lot of things going on with De Niro as of late, but specifically we know that there's a lot of things going on with Joker 2 and director Todd Phillips and why De Niro is in the midst of this ongoing drama. Now, look, we already know that this movie is a failure for multiple reasons, alright? One of the biggest ones of all has a lot to do with the fact that this is indeed a musical, but on top of that, the ending is something that a lot of fans, especially of the first film, did not agree with. Now, I've said this before a couple of days ago, I myself was not a fan of the first film. It felt like it was about the Joker, but yet at the same exact time, not really about the Joker. It's a very odd type of style that Todd Phillips really chased, where it's basically kind of just using the name the Joker and the aesthetics of the Joker character to make it seem like it's a movie about him when it's really not, kind of. It's very hard to explain. But focusing on De Niro, this is where things begin to go out of control over at Warner Brothers in the midst of this ongoing drama. Now, specifically, of course, on top of everything here, with Warner Brothers CEO David Zaslav in complete panic over the box office disaster for Joker 2 and the budget that they poured into this project, one crucial development now has more to do with Robert De Niro in the midst of the failure for Joker 2 on a grand scale. Now, one significant update to the situation that's going on currently involves how De Niro is not only furious and very emotional after Warner Brothers executives decided to never release some of the flashback scenes that were filmed that were going to show alternate views before Murray's death from Arthur, but that also Warner Brothers was having serious conversations with director Todd Phillips about developing a Joker 3 that would be done in a Godfather Part 2 style, where it would also be heavily done with flashbacks and would bring back Murray, that were going to hold some shocking revelations for his character. Now, De Niro was desperate to get this project going to essentially revitalize his career as an actor and to expand to new fans at Warner Brothers. Recently, David Zaslav called off any future for a third Joker film, and hence all conversations that Robert De Niro was involved with are now no longer happening at all, that created outrage from the actor. The situation got so serious to the point where De Niro blamed the quote-unquote toxic fans, yet again, as the source of the problem and blamed the studio heads and engaging in studio interference, and actually falling victim to loud, entitled fans. De Niro was supposed to have a pretty large role in the Joker 3 film that was going to be a very large film that would lead to multiple spin-off movies, including a Harley Quinn spin-off. De Niro is reportedly blaming one side of the population or general public as responsible for leading to Joker 2's failure and becoming a box office fail. This, however, led Warner Brothers to canceling other projects that De Niro was in talks with that got canceled after his outrageous behavior behind the scenes in regards to his Joker 2 flashback scenes never getting released and or inserted into the final cut of the Joker sequel. Now, guys, let me just say one thing about this. Now, we already know that De Niro is pretty much a hothead at this point. I mean, he's very much an argumentative actor. He gets very much, involved in a lot of these heated discussions, these heated arguments about people that are raising their opinion about one movie or one project that doesn't really go well, and blames it on them. It's not a big shocker at all. Now, we talked about this lightly a couple of days ago, that there were a couple of in-studio battles between himself and Warner Brothers executives about the scenes that he had shot as Murray that never got released for the final cut of Joker 2, Folie. And look, at the same exact time, I talked about this earlier on, that this sequel did not need to be made. It most certainly did not need to be made. In fact, it's so bad to the point where it is universally rejected. I would go as far to say that, because look at the Rotten Tomatoes score. I mean, it's pretty much, evenly between critics and audience members. Nobody likes this movie. Now, sure, you're going to have some exceptions here and there. Some people will like this sequel for what it is in isolation. I get it. But this movie really did not need to exist at all, period. Now, moving onwards from that, Warner Brothers executives, get this, are reportedly very frustrated with De Niro's behavior over the Joker 2 box office fallout and the domino effect it created on his future at Warner Brothers for their initial plans of creating this alternate Jokerverse, so to speak. De Niro reportedly shot 3 very important flashbacks for the sequel that will not officially, of course, be inserted into the Blu-ray or streaming version of Joker 2. Which at this rate will be released as early as this holiday season, given that it is underperforming that bad. Even Lady Gaga is getting involved in some drama, since there were some discussions about a Harley Quinn spin-off to kickstart Gaga's career in the film industry yet again. That too is not moving forward. De Niro is still demanding Warner Brothers to release the scenes that he shot as Murray, with David Zaslav refusing to do so in order to wipe Joker 2 from anybody's memory. Marketing for the digital version of this movie will also be nearly non-existent. So what that means is basically, don't expect too many commercials or ads about this movie going to streaming, going on Blu-ray. You're not going to see much of that at all. They don't want to waste any kind of funds on this movie after the abysmal disaster that it already is. Now, look, De Niro seems like he's getting very much angry toward the general public. Obviously, he's blaming one side, which is just, pure nonsense. It makes no sense. But this movie, objectively, is just bad. It really is. I mean, I think that even some of the critics out there are really pulling the plug on Warner Brothers and what they're trying to do in both this year and next year with the Minecraft movie. So that's another obstacle that they have to go through in April of 2025. So that's something that David Zaslav, by the way, is not looking forward to, especially after the many battles that Jack Black has been going up against with Warner Brothers. He's been creating a lot of issues there. We'll have more to talk about that next week as well. But Robert De Niro, not a big shocker at all. The fact that he is acting the way that he is behind closed doors at Warner Brothers after they pulled the plug on any plans for a Joker 3 that was going to involve a lot of flashbacks from Murray, and any of the scenes that he had shot for Joker 2 that are not going to be released on the digital version, because like I said before, they want to wipe this movie from anybody's existence, or memory I should say, and they want to wipe it from existence. They want to make it like it never even happened. And that's how bad this movie really is, not just at the box office, but how the fans of the character the Joker are actually seeing this movie for what it truly is. So overall, I would love to hear what everyone has to say about this ongoing situation over at Warner Brothers and what Robert De Niro is creating behind closed doors. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.